All right, episode 21 of the Roommates Podcast is now underway. Let's start it off with
Okay, two things.
two things.
One, this time it's not his fault that we're late. It's my fault. I wanted to
Someone
watch
decided to
WrestleMania.
watch WrestleMania.
I watched WrestleMania and it got done at like 9 o'clock or like 9:30 and I was like, I don't feel like driving back. So I spent the night at my house. Don't care. Secondly, if we have no energy, we just had day one of spring ball practice. Our entire bodies currently are in pain.
I wouldn't say all of it's pain. Some of it's just my body is exhausted and wants me to pass out on the floor. But it was a good first day.
It was fun.
It went better than what I expected for a first day, but definitely could have had a better day on my part. But that's besides the point. That's what I'm going to go and watch film for later.
That's fair. All right. I'll start it off.
Yes.
Because screw you. Big news last night. I actually told him about it. John Calipari is going to Arkansas. He's supposedly, I think it's finalized now.
Yeah, it is. It's like slightly lower salary than we was getting at Kentucky.
Yeah, so that came out of nowhere because I'm in a group chat for Creighton basketball, and someone literally goes, Calipari's gone. And everyone's like, you're lying, that's not true. And then everybody all of a sudden found out that, yeah, it was true. What's your thoughts on that?
Honestly, I don't know. We can thank Doug Edert and
Jack Golke.
Jack Golke, yeah.
Excuse you.
Thank you. We can thank them, too, for Calipari not being at Kentucky anymore. I don't know, though. Because for me, the biggest thing is, what is this going to mean for the guys that he recruited to go to Kentucky, like Rob and those guys? Like, what is it going to mean for Dillingham?
Yeah.
And what does it also mean for the guys who are committed right now? Are they going to flip? Because I think the rule is that since none of them have signed, or those that have signed, because Cal is leaving, they now can ask for their signed NIL or NLI back, and they can cancel their national letter of intent because the coach that recruited them is gone. It's like in the it's like in NCAA where the transfer portal opens for those if their coach is fired or leaves, because then that gives them the right to leave. It's kind of that. I think it's that same situation. So we'll see what it means for those that are committed to Kentucky right now. Do they follow Cal to Arkansas? Do they make their own moves and go somewhere like with the reputation of Kentucky? We'll see.
Yeah. I just think it's kind of crazy. Like, we talked about, like, when Bill Belichick left the Patriots. That's, like, one guy I never thought we would see leave and take somewhere else. Like, I always thought Cal would just stay there.
I think it was just a matter of time with Cal. You can't have the run of poor performance come tournament time that he has had in the last 5 years and expect to keep your job and expect not really just keeping your job, but at Kentucky, to keep your job, you have to keep yourself in favor of the donors. And I think it was at a point where Cal didn't have the support of the donors. He didn't have the support of the athletic department. I think everyone was kind of slowly going out on him and just be like, hey, you're not what we're looking for right now.
Yeah.
So I think it was just a matter of time at that point.
Yeah.
At this point, it was going to come eventually. Whether the Oakland game was going to be the last stretch or whether something else that happened next year was going to be it. I think in the next 2 years, if you had asked me at the end of tournament if Cal would be leaving, I would have said probably, or if Cal would have been gone, I would have said probably in the next 2 years if he had another bad performance. Depending on how next year's tournament would have went, I would have said probably in the next 2 years he would have been fired or left on his own accord. And the thing about this is that with him leaving and not getting fired, it saves Kentucky 30-something mil.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't have to pay him that 30 mil. Saves them money, and they can use that saved money to go and hire somebody new, which kind of leads to the next point. Who is going to replace him?
I've heard a lot of people. I've heard Scott Drew from Baylor is one of them. Nate Oates. Someone was saying maybe even Kyle Neptune might get a call from Villanova. Another one, Matt Painter from Purdue. which I don't. Depending on how tonight goes for the national championship,
The two coaches are in the national championship right now. I don't think are going to leave.
someone said, like someone I was talking to about it, literally said, "Screw it, call Hurley."
Yeah, Hurley is not leaving UConn.
No,
Purdue's coach is not leaving.
yeah,
I think the biggest possibility, in my opinion, is Billy Donovan leaving the assistant coaching job at the Chicago Bulls and moving back to college after not finding a ton of success as a head coach and as assistant coach in the NBA. I think it's kind of about his time to get out of the professional sports world. We've seen guys do it in the past with like Kingsbury when he left, went to USC last year. We see it, and then it helps them kind of revitalize their career. And I think Billy Donovan's kind of in that space of his career where he needs to have something happen in his favor. And I think if he stays at the Bulls, that isn't going to happen.
yeah.
So I think it's about time that he goes ahead and calls it for his NBA career for right now and goes back to the college sphere that he was at before. He got the call from Oklahoma City to replace Scott Brooks. I think that was his first job in the NBA. I can't remember if we were his first job or if he had someone else. I just remember him replacing Scott Brooks.
I have no idea. National championship, I think it's going to be the UConn Huskies winning tonight.
Yeah. They're more complete than Purdue, but I think it all, I heard in the locker room today from a bunch of people, all depends on how Edey plays. If Edey goes out and gives you 40 and 20 and gets fouled 20 times or whatever and shoots, I don't know how many free throws he's going to shoot. If Edey shoots more than 25 free throws, then Purdue better not lose. That's all I'm going to say. If Edey gets the ability to shoot more than 25 free throws, I don't care how bad of a percentage shooter he is, there is no reason you should lose if you're drawing that many fouls. Because not only are you drawing that many fouls and getting that many free throws, well, now you've put UConn's big men in a spot where they have to play to not foul, which is a tough place to play when you're playing a guy who's 7'4" and physical.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
It'll be a good game either way. Big East, support Big East as much as it pains me to support. Oh, we didn't get the frickin' board.
It's fine.
Oh.
It has a 2 on it. Both of our legs hurt too much to stand up. So it has a 2. Well, you'll see a 3 next episode because our legs hopefully won't be as dead.
If I remember. As much as it pains me to support the big-ass baby of Dan Hurley.
That doesn't count towards the board because that is not
It's
me.
only you, so.
Yeah. It's only a board for me because I have a problem.
Yes. Women's college basketball now. South Carolina did it. Perfect season, beating Iowa and Caitlin Clark in the Natty.
Yeah.
After the game, Dawn Staley, she praised Caitlin Clark for what she's done for the sport of women's basketball, especially in the college level, because this was like one of the most watched like Final Fours and national championships ever.
Speaking of Dawn Staley, kind of forgot to mention her name, but she has also had her name thrown around who's going to replace Cal at Kentucky. I don't think that'll happen. I don't think she's going to leave South Carolina not after winning a national championship. I know she flirted with the idea of retiring after this season, but I don't think that's going to happen either. So I think Dawn Staley will be staying at South Carolina. I don't think she will replace Cal at Kentucky, but I've heard her name being thrown around.
Yeah.
And then kind of talking about just the turnaround for some of these people like Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. Because if I remember correctly, those players that were in the national championship have had until, what was it?
They get like 48 hours after their final game.
Yeah, they had 48 hours after the national championship, and that was Sunday.
Yeah.
So they have until tomorrow to declare for the NBA or WNBA draft. Then the WNBA draft is April 15th, which is a week from today, Monday, April 8th. Then WNBA preseason starts May 3rd. WNBA regular season starts May 14th. And they play a 40-game season, and they enter their playoffs September 19th. Yeah. So in a span of roughly 6 months, they are going from being college basketball players to being in the WNBA playoffs, which is an absurd turnaround that you don't see in any other sport.
Yeah.
Because even like NFL Combine happened. When is the NFL draft? Isn't it the 25th of April?
Yeah.
It's the end. They had Combine a month or two ago, probably closer to a month ago. Then they have another month from now until the draft. Then they have 3 months before preseason and OTAs. And then they have 3 months of a season. They are typically still going in their season when college football season ends. So they have almost a full year between turnarounds for football players, which kind of, that puts this into perspective. You're talking about 6 months you're going from a college tournament to being paid athletes on the highest stage of your sport playing in the playoffs. If your team makes it, that is. Which some of these people, like Caitlin Clark, I could see her going into the Indiana Fever because she is going to be part of the Indiana. Is it the Indiana Fever?
Who knows? I would say so.
I think it's the Indiana Fever. Yeah, Indiana Fever. They're actually opening up the first game of preseason. And Caitlin Clark will be on that team because there's not a soul in the world who thinks that Caitlin Clark will not be going number 1 overall in this upcoming WNBA draft. So, yeah. So to put it in perspective, if the Indiana Fever make the playoffs, which I think Caitlin Clark has that type of impact, she will go from playing in the national championship yesterday to April, May, June, July, August, September. In 6 months, she will be playing in the playoffs for the WNBA, and then their playoffs are shorter, so probably by the end of by like early November, mid-November, we'll be talking about her possibly being in the WNBA finals, which is an absurd turnaround in 7 months to be done with a professional season. But we'll see how they handle it. Everybody who's been drafted has handled it perfectly fine. So, yeah, but I think in perspective with what the other sports get, that is absurd.
Softball. OU lost, finally. Snaps 40-game win streak in the Big 12. Why is it always twice. Texas?
Because Texas is the only other good team in the Big 12.
We
lost 2 games in Texas, in Arlington, which is just an even bigger kick in the teeth because you don't want to lose in Arlington because the godforsaken Texas fans will never, never, ever let us live this down. They asked Patty Gasso after the game how she felt, if it rattled them, and Patty Gasso, being Patty Gasso, said no, not at all. We're going to play our game, and when we walk out with the Women's College World Series trophy, these games aren't going to matter. So, yeah, Patty Gasso was just Patty Gasso. I agree. When we walk out with our 4th championship in a row at the Women's College World Series, no one is going to care about when we lost to Texas 2 games in April, because more than likely Texas won't make it to the Women's College World Series, and you know who will be there winning it? OU. So, it's only our 3rd loss on the season. I think it's our 3rd loss. This is the most losses we've had in a single season in the last 4 years, I think, which is just absurd to say when you've lost 3 games. But welcome to OU softball. If you're not a fan, go ahead and hop on the bandwagon now before we win another national championship.
I'm good, thanks, brother. Also, I realized we're wearing the same shorts.
They aren't going to see mine.
Oh.
I always cut it to be at our chests.
I know. So. I kind of found that funny that we're both wearing our practice shorts.
These are the ones I didn't wear at practice today because I was going to get ice on my knee and I forgot to get ice on my knee, so I just have them on now.
Yeah, you got ice. College World Series baseball
for best ball.
Arkansas tops the poll.
Again. They stay there. Our resident Clemson fan, Landon Washington, I'm sure is happy that Clemson is sitting at 2 still.
No one cares about him. I saw him at practice today, by the way.
Oh, yeah, I did too.
When we were warming up.
Yeah.
I must yell at him.
I saw him when I was walking out.
Biggest surprise for me being on here is UC Irvine at 12.
My biggest surprise for being on here is how in the world is Florida still ranked? That's where I'm at.
That's fair.
Florida is 17-14. To put that in perspective, OU baseball has around that record. And OU baseball is garbage this year. They don't deserve to be ranked. We don't deserve to make it to the College World Series unless we win a super regional or something. Which wouldn't surprise me if we pull something off like that, because that's what happened when we made the World Series. But you're 17-14, Florida. How are you still ranked? You were 6 last week, and now you're 17-14. How? But yeah, UC Irvine is kind of surprising. I think the other one, which I mean is not as surprising because they've been in this poll before, is Dallas Baptist. Mm-hmm. Because they always put together a good baseball team, so it doesn't really surprise me that they're here. Some of the other smaller names on this list, University of Louisiana, Coastal Carolina, but they're kind of the familiar faces that you see in when you're East Carolina, like kind of they're smaller in the grand scheme of D1 schools, but they always kind of put together a good baseball team.
Yeah. Come
baseball season.
My question is currently Creighton, right? And maybe I'm just biased. 24-5 overall. They beat Nebraska, who is ranked, and are still not up there.
I don't even want to look at OU baseball.
Oh.
But I am.
Let's depress together. I don't know, I just find that a little crazy. Could be I'm just on the bandwagon. But, I mean, they have about the same record as Louisiana and UC Irvine.
That's a great title.
Oh, boy.
Look at the...
Yeah, I saw it. You're a child.
My mama told me I could be whatever I want when I grew up. So I became a retard. Yeah, we're 17.
You can't say that.
We are 17-14.
No, stop. You cannot say that.
I can cut it. We have the exact same record as Florida. How is Florida ranked? Sorry.
Who freaking knows?
We did beat Nebraska too, though. At Texas's stadium. Globe Life Field. Who else did we... We lost to Dallas Baptist. Fair. We beat Wright State 20-0. Fair. We lost to them 12-2 later that weekend in Norman. Oh boy, we got ruled by Pitt in 7 in Vegas.
So you want to keep saying how are they not ranked or?
Oh no, I don't care that OU's not ranked. OU doesn't deserve to be ranked. We did rule ORU though. That's for sure. A lot of my friends go to ORU. So, sorry. Yeah, we haven't played Texas yet. Oh boy, they play April 30th. Are we going to be here for April 30th?
Yes. Because that's...
I about had to reset the counter.
Oh, what day would that be?
That stadium is...
That's a Monday, if I'm not mistaken.
That stadium that they're going to be playing at is 10 minutes from my house.
Oh, wow. Because at 26
and I could see all my buddies that go to ORU that I don't get to see ever.
That's Tuesday.
Oh.
So yeah, we'll be here. That's finals week, actually.
I have to be here till Wednesday on finals week.
What? Right. Yeah, because we get done May 3rd.
I'm going to be out of here May 1st after I take my final in Gabriel M. Haley's class.
I forgot what day I was getting out of here.
God knows I am going to have to take a final in that class.
Hey, man. I don't know what to say.
Against Oklahoma State, the concessions are only $2 against Oklahoma State and Norman.
Wow.
We were here, though. Never mind. Never mind.
Moving on, college football. Spring ball is in full swing for most schools, except
some
for...
schools have finished spring ball, like Auburn, who already had their spring game, which is just absurd.
Auburn playing themselves is the epitome of college football, so... As we mentioned, day one for us. How are we feeling? I think we kind of already just mentioned it.
Feeling good in general. Like about the playbook and all that.
Yeah.
Relearning it is not the most fun thing, being told you have to relearn an entire playbook. But in general, it went pretty smooth today. We're slowly reinstalling things, so I think that's nice. I think the biggest thing is just going to be getting back into football shape.
Yeah,
I noticed after the first team period, I was a little bit more gassed than I thought I was going to be.
me too.
But Bartles was telling me that happens every spring. You'll come around to the first scrimmage on Friday, and you will not think that you're out of. You will not be out of shape anymore.
Yeah,
So we'll see.
but yeah,
Come first scrimmage on Friday, probably will be back in football shape. Because it doesn't take me that long. Because I'm not too terribly out of shape. Like I was. Today wasn't bad. It just wasn't great.
no, it's getting back into the swing of things. This is the big thing.
Yeah.
Other news: it was announced today the NAIA, our governing body
athletics.
for athletics, essentially has just banned trans athletes from competing in sports. So if you're biologically male but you identify as a woman, you cannot compete in those sports.
If you have something loose between your legs, you can't play women's sports.
And vice versa, I think is what I'm assuming.
Man, there's not a woman that wants to play men's sports.
Yeah.
I can guarantee you. Because they wouldn't be able to compete. Now, the men who are just awful at sports and want to be dominant and go to women's sports. So,
I think it kind of like, I feel like it came out of nowhere.
yeah, we were kind of just sitting in meetings and I saw the notifications. Like, what?
Well,
When did this happen?
We were sitting in the training room when they announced it, right?
Were we?
Yeah, because that's when the eclipse was happening. Is when we got the notification.
Yes, when we went outside and looked at the sun.
Yep. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. That was kind of fun. Not really. It was kind of boring.
Yeah.
I think it just like, I say it's crazy just because of it just felt like it came out of nowhere. I feel like probably like normally you would hear it being talked about.
I think I think that's part of the reason why they kept it under the wraps, though, is because of the amount of backlash that they're going to get now.
Yeah, but we were talking in one of my classes about it. And
did you guys talk about it in Tobin's?
No.
Oh.
We should have. But we were talking, like, most schools in the NAIA have a religious affiliation.
Yeah.
So it's not really, it's, like, obviously, like...
I know for us that our school, being Lutheran-based, kind of has rules against...
Yeah.
Gay students and trans... I don't know about trans students.
I don't know.
I know about gays.
It sounds so bad just saying it like that, but...
It's how else do you
I know
the LGBTQ plus all the other letters. I don't feel like looking it up right now. The alphabet gender, whatever.
It's
the alphabet people. That's what we'll call them.
I know. I mean, I understand why you do it. I think because like I remember, I forgot what year it was, but this dude who was one of the most strong, like who was a strong man from Canada, he was like out to protest this. And he identified as a woman and broke like every powerlifting record they had.
Or like the dude who went into women's swimming and just dominated.
Leah Thomas?
Yeah, the dude who wanted to be a girl and went through like hormone therapy and then went and just wrecked the entire competition at a collegiate swimming event.
Yeah. It's like the whole thing too is like a male is genetically...
It's not fair for the women who spent their entire lives training to get to this point just to get outdone by someone who has been genetically made to be superior when it comes to athletics.
Yeah.
That's nothing against women.
No.
There are people in certain things that I know are way better than me at a bunch of things. Like some of the high jumpers and long jumpers and sprinters here and long distance runners for the women's track team could beat maybe not sprinters. I take back sprinters, but like all of the long distance running and all of the jumping, I have seen some of them do their jumping and things like that, and I know for a fact I would get schooled in anything.
Yeah,
but that's also because they have trained for this. And it would be unfair if someone who also trained in that decided they were not good. They weren't great in men's. So they wanted to go somewhere where they could dominate. That just isn't fair for the women who spent their entire lives training for it. And I think if the NCAA wants to be what the NCAA wants to be, they're going to make it fair for both men and women. So they'll probably follow suit. I mean,
that's what I'm thinking. That's what I was going to ask you is the NCAA going to follow suit? I
hope they do. But knowing how big the NCAA is, and a lot of the schools the NCAA is governing over, don't have religious affiliations.
Yeah.
So it's a lot more difficult for them to convince people to vote positively for it if they were to even attempt to go forward with it. But I do hope they follow suit, because I do think it is unfair for those that have spent their entire lives training.
Well, I always think, my thought about it is, you have male, female, and then you have transgender. So if it's say we'll go
make their own league.
That's what I'm kind of saying is you go to a swimming competition and it's oh, this is the men's heat, this is the transgender female division. So they're competing against each other, in a sense, just to make it fair for everyone. Is my whole thought process.
Or hear me out. Transgender females can just suck it up and compete with the men, because that's what you are. You are a dude. You have a loose piece of flesh hanging between your legs. You are a dude. Sorry, not sorry. Your birth certificate says M for male. It does not say T for trans. It says M for male. Show me your driver's license and tell me what your driver's license says. Actually, you can change your driver's license now. Show me your birth certificate. What did the doctors, when they pulled you out of your mother's womb, say that you were? And that is what you are. No hormone therapy or pair of scissors will fix that.
I like how I'm delicately going around this and you're just
Dude,
fireball into it.
I am from the South. We believe in one thing and one thing only, and that is God above. And God above assigned you a gender when you came out of your mother's womb. You will live by that gender if it's the last thing I make sure you do. I should be a lawyer. I'm great at arguing.
You really should not.
I'm tempted to switch my major to law school now.
If I ever go to court and you're my public defender, I'm asking.
Oh, I wouldn't be a public defender. I would be the one that puts the people in jail.
So a prosecutor?
Huh?
A prosecuting attorney?
Yeah.
I would not trust you. If I ever went against you in court, I think I would get an easy win, I'll be honest with you.
I don't know about that, man. Your Honor, what was this white bag in his room? That's all we needed to know. Tested positive for drugs. Put him in jail! And then I'd dance my way out, playing music on my phone, doing the cha-cha slide out of the courtroom.
You'd be
celebrate good times. Come on.
You'd get disbarred so fast.
I don't care. As long as I put one guy in jail, I'll make sure it's you. I'll make sure I get disbarred after I put you in jail. You're playing solitaire while I go on my little rant.
Honestly, I'm just letting you talk, man.
Well, that's all I need to say. If I say anything more, I might...
You might get canceled?
Yeah, well, if this ever goes anywhere where we've got more than 20 people watching on an average, then someone may come back to look at this video and be like, he doesn't like trans people. Sorry, not sorry. Compete in your gender's division.
I won my game of solitaire, by the way.
That was quick.
I was
playing that for a while.
I've been playing it since Tobin's, so... Hey, man.
Have you played the Wordle for today?
No. Hey, man, we got 10 views on the last episode.
What was the episode before that?
3.
What was the episode before that?
5.
Exactly.
16, 8, 21, 4. Oh, my lord.
It's all over the place.
It's fun. Our first ever episode has 114.
We really fell off a cliff, didn't we?
Okay, technically it was our second. Who commented on this?
Yeah, technically it was our second episode because we didn't
remember.
record our first episode with... is that the 20% notification I see on my phone? I think so.
Uh-oh. We should wrap this up.
Yeah, let's go ahead and wrap it up. That's your job. I did my opening statement. It's your job to send us out.
Thank y'all so much for watching today's episode. Once again, we're sorry for seeming dead. We're both really tired. If you did enjoy, leave a like, subscribe, comment down below what you want us to talk about next. Why do you have my profile picture?
You can make your pictures bigger. Look. How did I do that? You can magnify image.
Okay. Comment down below. Oh my lord. Comment down below what you want us to talk about, and we're gonna talk about
guests. If you want to see certain guests on, We're already planning on having Austin Jablonski on, NAIA All-American wide receiver.
And
But if you have any other suggestions,
maybe you can even join us on the podcast.
if you are in the Seward area, I really don't feel like doing one of these over Zoom. Sorry, not sorry.
We're still on the fence about if we want to do it during the summer. I'm honestly kind of leaning towards we do it once a week.
That's fair.
Just because I feel like it would be kind of fun to see you every week.
Mm.
I
I was kind of gonna go off the radar this summer, but okay.
Whatever.
I was gonna make sure everyone thought I killed myself, and then I would just go for a drive.
Can't freaking say that.
I would just make everybody think that I died. I'd fake my death and then go live my best life in the Bahamas for a summer, and then come back for football next year. What? I
We'll
didn't say I
see
was
you.
I didn't say I was gonna do it to anybody else.
We'll see you Wednesday
There have
when
been
we.
Facebook
Can
Live.
I freaking finish?
There have been Facebook live streams of people putting a shotgun to their chin and pulling the trigger. I don't think that that's going to be too bad. I can make it bigger. Damn it. Oh, I can't zoom though.
Can I finish, please?
Go ahead.
Make sure you tune into. I don't care. Make sure you tune in Wednesday because we'll talk about the Masters.
Oh yeah.
Um,
I know what I'm watching this weekend.
it's my birthday this weekend, so.
Don't contact me from Thursday to Sunday.
But it's my birthday.
I will contact you.
Okay, good.
I will be watching the Masters though, so
I don't know what I'll be doing.
I'll make sure the video of us playing at Augusta gets on NCAA or on PGA 2K23 gets put out for your birthday.
Oh, good. All right, we'll see y'all Wednesday. Goodbye. Have a great rest of your day. See ya.